Hello and welcome everyone. See people tuning in, absolutely rocking. Here we are, live and direct from various places around the world for this event. Thank you so much for being here. This is going to be a super cool, fun, dynamic event today that we are all very excited to be a part of. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for registering for Celebrate the Voice. I'm Danny Ladwa and I'm from School of Beatbox. So I'm going to be running some of the beatbox activities that we have happening during this event. We also have collaborative partners that are going to be delivering things for this event too. We have the amazing charity Stop Holding Back, and we have also City Lit College. So between us, we're going to keep this kind of bouncing back and forth in various sections for the next 3 hours. There will be a 30-minute break in the middle. So, and in that time, there'll be various options. There'll be a Q&A at that time as well. So if anyone has any questions, you can ask those questions to either of the organizations that are involved today. And so the way that we're going to run this, guys, is because we have the chat that you'll see somewhere on your screen. I think you'll see a tab at the bottom. In that chat, if you've got any question for anyone at any point or about anything to do with this event, you can drop that question into the chat, okay? And what we'll do is when we have the moment to get back to those questions and answer them, that will happen. So in the breakout, in the break in the middle of the event, there will be a time allocated to each organization. So we'll have 10-minute slot each for that 30-minute break. So any question, guys, easiest way, just drop it in the chat. Let me see some thumbs up if everyone's feeling good today. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah, awesome stuff. So what we'll do right now is I'm just going to go around and let's introduce ourselves so you guys know who we are, what we're here doing, why we're here. So I may as well start right now because my mouth is moving. So I'm Danny Ladwa, and I'm the founder of an organization called School of Beatbox. You can guess what I do. So yes, I'm a UK championship beatboxer. Whoop, whoop. And I'm here I'm going to teach you some skills in beatboxing. I don't know, has anyone ever done any beatboxing before? Just give me a show of hands if you've ever tried beatboxing. Yes, nice one. Mike over there. Tim, yes, I know. Yeah, I've probably done beatboxing with me on stage actually. Yeah, Neil has, of course. Yeah, at this British Stammering Association conference where we met. Absolutely awesome, fantastic stuff. So I'm going to be running some of that. Why am I here? Why am I here as part of this this event? Well, I used to stutter when I was a kid, so around the age of 8 years old, something like that. And my stutter stayed with me for about 3 years, thereabouts. And at the point that my stutter kind of stopped, I started getting into beatboxing. And, I was hearing all these sounds in my head, as I think a lot of people do. Just put your hands up if you've heard like music playing in your head. I think it's quite a phenomenon that we don't really think about. But if you think about a tune right now, you can kind of hear it, right? You can kind of hear it. And that's basically, I realized at a young age that a lot of the time, the music that I was hearing inside my head was not music that I'd ever heard before. And so I realized that I was creating this music and I just really wanted to express it. I really wanted to get it out. So I became this person that was just constantly tapping on tables, humming tunes, whistling, back of the car, long journeys with my parents, absolutely annoying them all the way because I just wouldn't shut up, literally. Always making sounds with my mouth. So came to the point where I started to beatbox, started to find that you can develop these sounds. So anyway, all these years later, now I set up School of Beatbox 2 years ago, and part of the project, it's a social enterprise, and part of the mission is to raise awareness about stuttering. So that's me. I'm going to hand over to Corinne at City Lit.
Thanks, Danny. So my name's Corinne. I'm here from City Lit, and we're an adult education college. And one of the departments in the college is a speech therapy team for people who stammer. So we run courses for people who stammer. I'll tell you a bit more about those later. So courses to help people to maybe manage their stammering a bit more easily, help them with getting back into work or progressing at work. So we're really, really pleased to be supporting this event. It looks like it's going to be a really fun afternoon. I said to my son just now that I was attending a beatboxing event, and he gave me this look like, what? You? Yeah, so I'm really pleased to be here, and I think I'm going to give it a go. Yeah. So great.
Can't wait to hear you, Corinne.
Oh, well, yeah, let's see.
Awesome stuff. And finally, we're going to hand it over to Ruben from Stop Holding Back. Ruben, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, thank you very much. Hello. My name is Ruben Pillai, and I'm one of the directors of Stop Holding Back with Christopher Jackson and AI Desanya. Put your hands up just to introduce yourselves quickly. Yeah, so we're going to talk a bit more about the charity later on, but I've been stuttering since the age of 4. It was a big shock to my parents because I was speaking completely fine for 2 years. I'm having conversations quite young, and then something happened. I'm not really sure, but I guess we all have a similar story. And Stop Holding Back is UK registered charity. That's pretty interesting because it has more of a footprint, but we'll go into that a bit later on. Thank you, Danny, for giving us the opportunity to tag along with this workshop. Appreciate it, man. I'm going to let Chris and Neo say a few words. Say hi.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chris. As Ruben said, the co-founder of Stop Holding Back. I've had a stutter pretty much my whole life. I cannot remember not having a stutter. Struggled with it my whole life and tried various different types of speech therapies. And in the end, Io and I came up with a program that suited me, and that's how Stop Holding Back was born. And now we're just a UK charity that help people improve their employability skills, but we're going to go into more depth on that later on.
Hey everyone, to keep it short, my name is Ayo Adesanya. I'm a co-founder of Stop Holding Back, and we love what we do. That's it.
Boom! Love it. All right, nice one, guys. Guys, it's time to just crack straight into the world of beatboxing. Let's do this. This is beatbox activity numero uno. Now, I know some of you said that you've not beatboxed before. I don't believe you, to be quite honest, because I think everybody at some point has just tried to make drum sounds, try to make some rhythmical sounds with their mouths. It happens to us all, usually as kids. Okay, just put your hands up if you have ever played on a full drum kit, please. A full drum kit. Ever had a go on a full drum kit? Even just smash that cymbal. Yeah, okay. You've all seen a full drum kit, right? And that is what we're going to try and do. So what we're going to do is we're going to replicate the 3 most important sounds on a full drum kit, okay? We have the bass drum, we've got the hi-hats, and we've got the snare, okay? We're going to break these sounds down, so we're going to learn each of these sounds individually. Once we've got those sounds down, we're going to start to look at how to put them into patterns, and that's where it gets fun. So I'm going to teach you some patterns today, and then once you've got these sounds, the amazing thing about beatboxing is that you can really do what you want with those sounds. You can put them into whatever patterns you like. And this is what I encourage you to do, is to trust yourself as a musician. Whether you class yourself as a musician or not, we can all be musicians today, okay? And that is about trusting what you hear inside your head. Because a lot of the time, you know, if you think about when you're listening to a song and you start humming along with it, or you can hear like another kind of melody that's crossing over with this song that you're hearing, and you can hear it in your head, and you start whistling along to it or something like that. It's that kind of inner rhythm and sound that we're going to try and tap into. Some of you might be thinking, what are you talking about? But some of you will be like, no, actually, I get it. Okay, so let's just catch on with what we can. So first of all, we're going to get into these 3 fundamental sounds in beatboxing. First of all, the bass drum, guys, okay? The bass drum is the big round drum that sits right in front of the drummer. There's a pedal, foot pedal, right? Hit that foot pedal and the beater hits the skin of the drum, and that's the sound we're going to recreate. This is not too difficult. Check this out. It's the bass drum. All we use is the lips, okay? We don't need to use extra air. We're just going to use just the lips like this. Nice one, Mike. I can see some good bass drum action there right now. It's like this. Come on. Let's try it. Come on. Everybody now. Come on. Yeah. Everybody now. This is our bass drum, the sound that we want, okay? The kind of sound that we're after, right? Nice one for giving it a go, guys. I can see pretty much everybody getting into this. I'm just going to say thank you very much for doing that. Because if you're all just sitting there just looking at me like that, that would be really awkward. Right? So nice one. Excellent stuff. We're going to have fun with this. So bass drum, you can see that I'm using one side of my mouth, right? I'm using the right side. You can use the front. You can use the left side. You have to kind of explore. There'll probably be one side that kind of feels more comfortable for you, just natural. This is the sign that I've trained. So just feel, try the front, try the left, which I find quite difficult. Right side. That's where I'm at. You can kind of think about like bouncing a ball. Think about a basketball, that kind of sound. You with me? Thumbs up, guys. Let me see. Show me that you're with me. Boom. That's what I'm talking about. Excellent stuff. We're moving straight onto the hi-hats, guys. Right. You know what I'm talking about. 2 metal discs like this. They usually sit to the left of the drummer, open and close. We are going to learn the closed hi-hat sound and the open hi-hat sound. The closed hi-hat sound is the easiest sound in beatboxing. Okay. It's like this. Come on. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Come on. Nicely done. Nicely done. Awesome stuff. Simple, right? Simple, right? That's the hi. That's the closed hi-hat. Okay. There we go. Okay. The open hi-hat is super, super easy. All we do is we add a bit more of an S sound at the end of the hi-hat. So we just go. Think about like a pressure cooker. Okay. Think about like a pressure cooker. You see what a pressure cooker in the kitchen, it makes that sound like kind of, it's like on and then it's like off really suddenly. It's like, okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put these two together. We're going to play with the closed hi-hat and the open hi-hat. Ready for this? Just give this a go. We're going to go. You with me? You still with me? Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Rocking. You're rocking. Absolutely awesome. Okay. Here's now where it gets interesting. We've got the bass drum down, guys. Yeah, we got. Oh, yes, we do. We've got the closed hi-hat and we've got the open hi-hat. Okay. We'll call the hi-hat, I kind of call it, because it's just one instrument, one part of the drum kit, just kind of class that as one sound. So that's the two sounds done. Now we've got the snare. And the snare drum is the one that sits right in front of the drummer. And there's various snare sounds that we can do. So we've got the classic PF snare, which is like literally, if you imagine a drumstick, yes, Mike, if you got that drumstick and you hit that snare drum right in the middle of the snare drum, right, it's going to make this sound. Okay, and that's why we call it the PF snare, because we have two sounds and we put them together. First one is the P, okay, similar to the bass drum, guys. So instead of, we're going to go bit more P. Say the word P. Yeah, come on, say it loud and proud. P. That's what I'm talking about. So that sound there, forget the E, and we're just going to go, right? Now, the second part of this sound is literally the sound. And with this, you want to give it a bit of extra force, okay? So you want to kind of go, try that. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, give it some welly. Just like that. Now you want to put the P and the F together and we get, try it again. It's like, try it again. It's like, come on, try it again. It's like, try it again. It's like, come on. Yeah. That's the P, F. It's the PF snare like. It's the PF snare like. There we go. You're all doing absolutely rocking. Can I just get a virtual high five, please, from everyone? Hit me. Boom. That's what I'm talking about. Lovely stuff. Okay, now check this out. If your PF snare is sounding a bit like, put up your hand. Who's got a? Okay, so check this out. Your technique, if you're getting the sound, it's spot on, okay? The only thing that's missing is training your instrument, okay? Think about your lips. They are like, they're muscles, okay? So when these muscles get stronger, when you kind of work on this PF snare more and more, that sound is going to change. So it's going to change from, and it's going to move to, okay? And that's just about strengthening the lips. So the main thing when you're learning beatboxing is remember the techniques and you can practice at home. And the more you practice, the stronger your sounds will come. Trust me on that one. Okay? Always experiment with the way that you produce your sounds as well. Try rolling your lip round a bit more. What happens if I move my top teeth further around that bottom lip? Like that. What if I keep it really loose? Makes a different sound. If I keep it really tight, makes a different sound. You've got to explore your instrument. Every single one of you, okay, has a unique sound. No one can beatbox like you. Nobody in the world can beatbox like you. You will have your own unique sound. So you got to experiment and you got to find your sound. All right, we've got a PF snare. We're going to move to a super simple snare, which is another one, okay? PF snare is one that you kind of want to work on slowly. Over time, that will develop. A K snare, okay? Literally, say the word kite. Say the word kettle. Say the word Kit Kat, right? Now forget the words and just give me a. That's all we want, okay? It's just a nice little simple click. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so check this out. We're going to go straight into our first rhythm. Okay, first rhythm, which is going to be a simple B, T, K, T. What am I talking about? B represents the bass drum. T represents the hi-hat. K represents the K snare. Okay, so we got B, T, K, T. You can kind of hear the rhythm already. Come on. Yep. Come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. B, T, K, T. Now you see the snares. Check this out, guys. The snares. We're going to learn another snare in just a second, which is called the 808 snare. Okay, which is actually, there's a lot of history, the history of beatboxing, kind of the birth of beatboxing, which I'm going to tell you a little bit where the 808 comes from. But remember, the snare drums, okay, you can change them around. So if I say BTKT, that K can become a PF, it can become an 808, it can become all these different snares. Check it out. Here's the rhythm, and I'm going to switch up the snare each time. So we've got the K snare first. PF. 808. Inward snare. Come on. Yeah, so you got all these different snares. You can use all these different ones. You just choose the snare that you want. This is your instrument. It's the way that you want to deliver it. First of all, B, T, K, T. I need a hand up in the air for someone that wants to share their BTKT with us right now, live and direct. Who's going to do it? I just need one. Yeah, Tim, coming over to you, buddy. Let's do this. You should have a thing on your screen, Tim, that's saying, yeah, there we go. Let's do this. Let's hear you, man.
Okay. Got that one.
Absolutely rocking, man. Absolutely rocking. You've done this before.
A little bit with you.
I have to tell you, Tim, you're still down in Brighton?
I am, yes. Yeah.
Still down in Brighton, mate?
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Me and Tim used to be in a band together for one glorious summer.
Mm.
Tim, that was magnificent.
It was brilliant, yeah. Lovely.
Fantastic. Tim's an incredible drummer, also plays guitar and bass.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
That's right, you see? Yeah. There we go. Awesome stuff, man. Anyone else want to give this BTKT a go? Who's going to do it? Come on. We're going over to Neil and Jay. Let's do this.
Thank you. We're going to give it to Jay. Go on, Jay.
Yeah.
Go on, Jay. Jay, fist bump right now, buddy. You absolutely smashed it. Boom. Loving that. Okay, guys, what we're going to do right now is we're going to move straight into the 808 snare. Okay. Now, the way that we get the 808 snare, and the reason I'm doing this now after these kind of other fundamentals is because we have to engage a kind of different part of our instrument. And the part that we're going to engage is the very top of our throat here. And we're going to get a kind of weird chicken-like sound. Okay. Kind of imagine a small furry chicken, and then we're going to combine it with another sound, kind of similar to the PF thing where we had two sounds, we put them together, but that the sounds together are going to create the sound that we're after. So the first thing what we need to do is we need to get this high-pitched sound up there, okay? And the way we get this is I need you all to put your hand on your chest just here, okay? And what I want you to do is I want you to kind of make a kind of gentle cough kind of sound, but I want you to really try and make the sound from where your hand is. So really think about, how do I make that Really make it come from here, okay? Okay, you want to try, and if you can feel a kind of vibration there, you've got it. Nod your heads if you've kind of got this so far. Yeah, excellent stuff. Excellent. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to move the hand up just a little bit, just like an inch or two. Okay, and we're going to try and make the sound come from here now. Let's see how the sound changes. It's changing, so you really got to try and focus here. All right, you might need to explore it a little bit, okay, to get the right point. Let's move up again. Let's move up to here, kind of like the bottom of our neck here, okay? So here we're going to make the sound. Right? Sounds a little bit funny there, yeah? Almost might sound a little bit uncomfortable. We're there. You guys still with me? Yes, you are. Look at you. You're rocking it. Okay, we're moving up further. We're not going to get to the sound that we want yet. This is one step away. So we're going to be kind of, let's try and make the sound come from the middle of our throat here. So we go. There's more kind of vocal sound in there. It's kind of more, almost more like your speaking voice, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Now we're going to move one more up and we want to get that higher sound here. That's what we're after. Still remember, we're trying to make Neil, be careful there, mate. If you've got a glass of water, I can see him coughing away. If you've got a glass of water, guys, if you need it, do grab a glass of water. Okay, so top of the throat, right at the top here, that's the sound that we want. So really we want this. That's what we're after, okay? Think about the same technique of the kind of, it's the same technique, but up here. Yeah? You guys feeling that? Does anyone kind of feel like they kind of understand that? That kind of makes sense? Yeah? Is anyone that's just like, I can't believe I'm doing this? A few. All right, good. I know we're on the right track then. Okay, these are both absolutely normal. Okay, so high pitch sound there. Okay, and the next sound is literally shh. That's it. Like we did with the PF snare, we did a. You kind of want to do the same thing with the same kind of energy. Shh. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to put the and the shh together. Okay, and it makes this sound. It's almost like a sneeze, yeah? And let me tell you a little bit of beatbox history. Now check this out. You can be carry on practicing the 808 snare, practice the PF snare as well, you know, in this time. But the 808 snare, so back in the early 80s, there was a drum machine, okay, that was called the Roland TR-808. And this is actually the birth of beatboxing as we know it today. And I'll tell you why. Okay, this drum machine was released and it had basically buttons on there. One of them would create the bass drum sound, right? One would create the hi-hat sound. And the snare sound that the 808 made was very specific, and it was this sound, which is why we call this the 808 snare. And literally what you could do is you could just play, right? Which you have lots of these kind of devices now. You could play this drum machine and create your own beat patterns. So literally be like. And it also had some really good functions where you could turn these dials and things, right? And you could make the sounds change, right? The kind of frequency of it and things would change. So you can kind of go. Right, you could do all this kind of funky stuff with it. And the thing is, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I can see some rounds of applause going on here. Awesome stuff. Great crowd. So check this out. The reason why I'm saying it's the birth of beatboxing is literally because people started mimicking specifically the 808, the TR-808 with their mouths. This 808 machine, they used to also call a beatbox. That was a kind of like a name for it, so they call it the beatbox. Hence why we have the term the human beatbox. It comes from this machine, people replicating these machines. There's a little bit of beatbox history. If you want to go and impress people and say, I know all about beatboxing, now you do. This is where it came from. So the 808 snare is not only a very cool snare, but it's kind of like an original sound for beatboxing. Okay, we're going way back. So you see what we can do now is we can put that into our pattern. Come on. There we go. You guys are rocking it. Absolutely awesome. So now, quick time check. Good, good, good. Fantastic. Okay, good stuff. So check this out. We're going to go straight into right now a more interesting pattern. Okay, what you need to do is you need to say these following words. Okay, might sound ridiculous, but you will learn this beat in the next 7 minutes. Okay, I promise you. You got to say boom, kaboom, boom, boom, kaboom. Right, boom, kaboom, boom, boom, kaboom. Now this is a funky beat, guys. This is funky. This is, you know, you don't usually learn this in a first beatbox lesson. Boom, kaboom, boom, boom, kaboom. Come on, boom, kaboom, boom, boom, kaboom. Yeah, boom, kaboom, boom, boom, kaboom. Yeah, boom, kaboom, boom, boom, kaboom. Come on, boom, kaboom, boom, boom, kaboom. Listen, boom, kaboom, boom, boom, boom. I even forgot the word there. Do you get me? Like, I was getting too into it. Boom, kaboom, boom, boom, kaboom. Now check it out. We're going to add a chicken. Okay. What am I talking about? Chicken. It's a shaker. Chicken. Okay. So let's do the pattern with words and then we're going to translate it into our beatbox pattern. And you're all going to have this in the next few minutes. Okay. Boom, kaboom, boom, boom, kaboom, chicken, boom, kaboom, boom, boom, kaboom, chicken, boom, kaboom, boom, boom, kaboom, chicken, boom. You get it, right? So look, if you've got, if you have got a pad, pen, you can write that down. Boom, kaboom, boom, boom, kaboom, chicken. Okay, or you can get that down at some point by the end of this event. Remember that. There we go. He's got it down. Nice one, Ruben. Get this down because the way, if you learn the words, okay, learn beatboxing via words like this, you won't forget the patterns. Okay, so a lot easier to remember. Okay, and then you translate it into your groove. Okay, and you can also, like I say, the K's, okay, where those K's present themselves, you can turn them into your other snares. There we go. First major rhythm for today. Boom, kaboom, boom, boom, kaboom, chicken. You guys feeling that? Yeah. Right, we got that. Awesome stuff. Okay, that last sound that I did was the vocal scratch, and I'm going to throw that in to the second beatbox activity, which will come straight after the break today, guys. Okay, so we're going to learn that vocal scratch. This sound. This sound. I celebrate the voice. This one right here, yeah? It's a super cool sound. It might sound complicated, but we're going to break that down into 4 steps, and it's going to be super easy. You guys are going to be scratching like crazy, and you can basically say anything you want. It's a super cool way to kind of throw words and storylines into your beats, right? Okay, right now, I'm going to hand the mic, literally, across to Ruben from Stop Holding Back, who is going to take our next section of this workshop. Over to you, Ruben.
Thank you very much, Danny. I'm actually struggling to work out how to follow that.
You got this, man.
But I'll try and keep this interesting and keep it snappy as well. So my name is Ruben, as I said at the start. I'm from Stop Holding Back, and some of you are probably wondering, what is Stop Holding Back? And we are actually a charity that's incorporated in the UK. So we are a UK registered charity, but we have more of a global footprint because of some of the stuff we've been doing over the past year, especially online. But before I carry on, I just want to ask, for the people who experience stuttering, who has felt that they've faced any barriers at school or challenges? Just put your hand up if you have. So I have. And who has experienced any challenges in the workplace as well? Yeah, that's really good. So like the purpose of Stop Holding Back was essentially trying to bridge a gap in terms of the support and information out there with a focus on employment. So my background is I work in risk advisory for an investment bank. I've been in that industry and spent some time in teaching actually for the past 10 years or so. So across that, the majority has been in risk advisory and a few years in sports coaching. And what I've found from my experiences through interviewing and also working is that no one really knows how to actually approach stuttering. And most of the time it kind of, it's also a problem for the person experiencing it. So they want help, but they don't actually know what help to ask for. And through all of the interviews I've had and all of the negative and positive experiences, it's kind of given me quite a lot of insight into how we can start to move forward a bit. So something really interesting is back in the past, because that we didn't have social media, you had to rely on books and websites specifically, and there wasn't that much information out there. So I would go to interviews and interviewers would not know what to do. I wouldn't know what to do as well. And you get this awkward situation between two people. So I'm trying to communicate and respond to questions, and they're trying to actually ask questions, but trying not to offend me, and get this weird situation. And eventually, if you do get into work, that just carries on within your teams and everything. And eventually, I started to look into like speech therapy and speech coaching a couple of years ago. So it was actually a conversation I had with my manager at the time. So we were quite like good mates, and we were at the pub one day, and he just said, "Ruben, I think you're great and everything. I think you have all of the knowledge up here, but if you can't communicate with senior management and above, then I'm being honest that things aren't going to progress further, and that's not with me. That's just the industry in general. So you got to find a way to communicate better, and start to express yourself a bit better in these environments." So I said, "Paul, thank you very much." Then I started investigating, and that took me on an interesting journey actually, where got involved with quite a few communities, started to look at different techniques of kind of improving your speech, and different places that did breathing techniques, physical techniques. Eventually I made quite a bit of progress, but there were still gaps in terms of mindset and that kind of stuff. So I started to read more into that, get exposure into other types of things involving mindset, but maybe not directly linked to speech in general. And long way around actually, like in that journey I met Io and Chris, I think like 3 years ago now. I met them both, and we kind of found each other on this journey, and we decided to actually put all of our skills into focusing specifically on improving the employment experience for people who stutter. So that could be from pre-interview, preparing your CV, to interviewing, and then at the workplace as well. So I know the guys have actually gone into people's workplaces and spoken to their teams, the managers, just to give them like a awareness session on stuttering. So then they know how to best help their colleague. We've each done different talks at our own places and in the industry as well. And yeah, like I said before, social media wasn't a big thing 10 years ago, but now it is, and it's given us like an amazing platform to reach quite a lot of people from different countries. So before I hand over to Io and Chris, I want to introduce Leo quickly from Finland. Leo, just introduce yourself and
hello.
A few words about your experiences.
Yes, so my name is Leo Lahtenmäki. I'm from Finland, and I've been stuttering for my whole life. And I started my journey because I had enough of stuttering at one point, and I felt stuck in a job which I didn't like to be. Actually, I was doing welding, and then I had some health problems from it, and I did it for 4 years still, because the only thing which I did it for was because I did not need to speak, and then at some point just Ejo started to follow me on Instagram, and through that I got involved to stop holding back. And in 2019, my grandmother passed away, and then my stuttering really got worse, and I felt like I needed to do something. And then I contacted the trustees after being 1 year just in the stop holding back, but not doing so much. And then I got involved with the stop holding back, and got to have a private course with one of the coaches who is Simon Bailey in the UK, and that took for 4 days, and I learned new speaking techniques and learned about the mindset and how to desensitize myself to stuttering, and basically self-coach myself. And I also got a new job after the course with Simon, which I really like to do now, and that is a warehouse keeper, and I graduated from school just in the end of October, and now I have been just working, but now I'm striving to go for logistics engineer. So I'm studying things to pass the test to the school, and nowadays I can speak to my family about my feelings, and go to new places and speak to the different people, which I couldn't do before. So yeah, now I'm just going forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Leo. That was a really good story, and I think that's an example of him kind of addressing some difficulties with his speech and feelings about stuttering, and then starting to progress in his employment and education. On the call as well, we have Ayush and Saurabh from India, who are master students, and they were worried about stuttering as well. They still are, but within the community, they are doing things and working on kind of addressing some of the issues and around stuttering. So eventually, they can kind of showcase their skills and their education to progress in their line of work as well. And we were going to have a quick word from Ante from Croatia. So he's a doctor, but he is on COVID duty right now. So he's trying to slip away to join the beatboxing workshop for a bit. But I think he's got a few more important things on maybe right now, trying to help people during the pandemic. But maybe you'll hear from him a bit later on. I'm going to let CJ, Christopher Jackson, and Io say a few words as well, instead of hogging the limelight. Chris, go for it.
Cheers, Ruben. Hi, guys. I just want to give you a little bit of context on what I've experienced and the reason why we chose to focus on employability at Stop Holding Back. The main reason is because I didn't really know what I wanted to do growing up, and I allowed my stutter and my speech to dictate almost every area of my life. And I went to university. I didn't really know what direction I wanted to go in. I'd done a business degree because I thought that was quite vague, and it could give me a few different options to go into later on. I came out of uni and my stutter was still consuming me. And I was so scared to go for job interviews that I actually rarely went for them. There were jobs that I really wanted to apply to, and I decided not to, just because the interview process was so scary to me that I decided to avoid. Now, it's quite weird that now I own and run a recruitment company with my sister. So every day I'm seeing and helping people apply for jobs. Now, what I learned at the beginning of starting the business was that I was still nervous, even though I started this business. I decided to take a role within the business that allowed me not to speak as much. Then after 1 year of running the business, I decided to work on my speech the way that Ruben and Leo had just described. And I then wanted to take on more speaking opportunities within work. So I was actively working with people through job applications and understanding what their interview processes were like. And what I learned was a lot of the fears that I had were irrelevant when it came to the job interview process. So what we do at Stop Holding Back is we use what I experience every day, the feedback that I get from potential employers, and we use that to coach people who stutter through the job interview process. Because as someone who stutters, you feel like you have to go into a job interview and you have to sell yourself constantly. And if you're unable to articulate well, you're not going to be able to do that. But that is not the case. That is not the case. If we're just open and honest about our stutter, we feel a lot more free, and we're able to really express ourselves and not try to get through the interview without blocking, giving one-word answers and not elaborating. We actually begin to enjoy the process. And that was something that I never ever dreamt would be possible, but it's something that I experience every day through helping people at Stop Holding Back. And even through lockdown, we've helped a few people get through job interviews over Zoom, over the phone, and people have been very successful with their whole job application, from CV writing to actually getting the job. So yeah, that's what we do on the employability side of Stop Holding Back. Over to you, Ruben. Thanks.
Thank you very, very much, Chris. I really appreciate that. Just to give you guys a quick idea before I let AO speak as well about what we've been experiencing. So because I've been involved in kind of public speaking for quite a few years now, and I'm doing all these Zoom calls that people, they do questions, say, Ruben, but your speech is fine. It's completely different for me. So how can you really relate and help me? So I just want to quickly share a video from quite a few years ago. So if you give me 1 second. It's not quite black and white. It's Serpy tone, but just let me know if you can hear this video properly.
Can you tell us your name, please?
Hi. My name is Ruben Eli, and your address? It's 25 Gott Street, Birmingham. B3 1RD.
Yeah, so when I went to job interviews, I could do quite a lot of preparation, put on a nice suit and tie, but when the questions came, I would, the majority of the time, sound as bad as this, or a bit better at times, but it was more just the feeling of not being able to really express things I wanted to say in the way I wanted to. And now I've come to a really good point personally where, yes, I still block and stutter, but it isn't like a situation where I don't know how to actually share information that I need to give, or I don't have a drop in confidence or drop in self-esteem. I'm very confident in myself, and I'm able to now share what I need to share. I'm not embarrassed to stutter in front of people and express myself, and it is a quite freeing feeling. It's taken quite a few years to get to this point, but it's something that I've learned just through kind of all these challenging experiences, that on the other side of it, you can look back on some of these experiences with a bit of pride and say, well, it didn't go as well at the time, but it has contributed to who I am now as a person. And with these kind of insights, it's really good to share and help younger people, older people who are going through interviews on best ways to tackle situations. And at times I'll just say, look, like, you're going to stutter, so it's all about how you manage your thoughts in the process and how you give yourself the best chance to succeed. But yeah, Ayo, over to you.
Hey everyone, I hope you guys are having a wonderful time. I definitely am. I'm really enjoying it. And just to follow up on what Chris and Ruben have been saying, they've talked about mostly about the employability side of things. I'm just going to talk about briefly just the lifestyle we live, and the mindset to help people actually evolve in their personal lives, not just at work, not just get the job they want or achieve goals, actually improve their self-esteem, improve their confidence. And that's mainly, as a large part of what we do also. And that's what we do behind the scenes, also using those skills, those soft skills, and helping people take that into the employment process. And we do that by, like Ruben has said, just by accepting ourselves first and foremost, and also acknowledging that we want to be able to express ourselves more clearly, more powerfully, more just on our terms. And there is nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with saying that I do not want to stammer or block on every single word, or have, or feel like I have to keep this stuttering thing, and there is no hope of ever letting it go. That's absolutely just not the case. And Ruben is a clear example of that. Chris is a clear example of that. I am a clear example of that, because we decided that we want to communicate better, and we can. Everyone on this call who has a stutter has the ability to communicate better, and we do it for ourselves. This is the key thing. We do it for ourselves. We don't do it for our boss. We don't do it for our families. We don't do it for our friends. We do it because we choose to, because we want to have an easier time getting our words out. I want to have an easier time saying Ayo. Like, I can say Ayo. I want to be able to say my name when someone asks me my name. I don't want to block for 20 minutes. Sometimes I've been like mouth wide open for like 5 minutes, and I've had to just stamp my feet and push the word out. It's super embarrassing, not because of the fact I stutter. It's the fact that it makes me feel that I can't express myself. I can't express myself. And that's why we started Stop Holding Back, to deal with that issue, the confidence and the lack of self-esteem and the self-hatred we have for ourselves, the self-hatred I had for myself. In December of 2017, I was 27 years old. And I was in my kitchen, and I was contemplating the worst. I was thinking about taking my own life. And I look back at that version of myself now, and I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful that I decided not to do that, because I'm here now. We have this charity, and we're helping people go above and beyond those feelings, because those feelings were temporary. Those feelings were temporary, and those feelings are always temporary. As long as we have the courage to go through them, get the right support, seek the right information, just push on and just ask for help, there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm so thankful I didn't take my life 3 years ago because of this stuttering problem that I had, which consumed me completely. I did banking, finance and management at Ladwa University. It's a good university, I got a good degree, but I couldn't use it. I worked security jobs. I worked laboring jobs for 3 years because I didn't have the confidence to apply for jobs. At least Ruben had the confidence to actually apply for jobs and get on the phone. And now he works in investment banking. I never had that confidence. I couldn't even pick up the phone. But I never gave up. And I somehow found a way. And I'm here now. And this is what we try to replicate in Stop Holding Back, taking people who come from that background, who feel that bad about stuttering. And there's no shame in feeling bad about stuttering. Don't let anyone say you shouldn't feel bad about stuttering. You don't have to, but don't let anyone tell you your feelings are not validated. So we try and help those type of people, because those type of people are me. I know how they feel. We know how they feel, and there is a way out. So we do a lot of life coaching within Stop Holding Back, and that just bleeds into the employability. But we're here for everyone, man, and we love what we do. So I hope you have a clear understanding of what we do, and back to you, Ruben.
Well, thank you very much for sharing that. It must have been quite difficult, so we appreciate it. As always, as Danny said, Q&A is open. Danny, do you want them to put it in the chat specifically?
Yeah, we've actually got, so yeah, we're going to do a Q&A session right now, guys, with Stop Holding Back. So any questions that you have, you can literally open up your chat. You should see an icon at the bottom of your screen for most devices. Click on that and drop your message, your question in the chat. We actually have one right now from Aranja. Hey, Aranja, thank you so much for your question. So basically, Aranja has asked, what is each of your biggest speaking success? So I guess, Ruben, whilst you're on, why don't you go first?
That's a good question. I'll have to be a bit cheesy here and say probably giving speech at my wedding with Aranja. Thanks for that question. My wife there. Yeah, so in March we got married just before the pandemic, and prepared a speech in front of our friends and family, probably around 200 people, reception, and yeah, it was a great experience. My mum was so proud. She called me the next day, and she was just really happy with like the speech, because she's been there since the start, going to all the speech therapy sessions as a kid, and speech and drama and all that kind of stuff. So for her, it was quite cool. So yeah, I think that was a moment for me personally, but for me as well.
Should we go over to Chris? Same question for Aranja, which is, what is your biggest speaking success?
I would say my biggest speaking success was probably on one of the hardest days of my life. It was actually at my father's funeral last year. He used to always make jokes to me years back that, oh, don't worry, the only time you're going to have to make a speech is at my funeral. And what happened was, I was working on my speech for the last 3 years, and it was very, he was very proud that I had made such massive progress and I completely transformed my life. And then at his funeral, I was able to get up and make a speech in front of, there must have been 300 to 350 people there. So I was able to do that, and that was probably my proudest speaking moment.
Nice one, Chris. And over to you, Ayo.
Yeah, I personally don't have a one situation where I can point to, but honestly, and I'm deeply honest when I say this, every time I open my mouth and I don't have the feelings of anticipation of being ashamed of blocking, man, that is my success. I am so happy to have those feelings. When every time I open my mouth and I don't have the shame of blocking, that's my success. And that's what I hold on to the most over everything.
Nice one, Ayo. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for your question, Aranja, as well. Another thing, obviously, if Neil has actually just pointed out something, if anyone wants to ask the question verbally rather than put in the chat, maybe just write the word question, or just mention it in the chat. So I'm just going to go over to Neil and Jay right now, as they have a question too.
For 1 second.
Hey, Neil.
Hi guys, thanks Danny, Chris, Ayo, Ruben. we're learning a lot from you guys today. Thanks for sorting this out. One thing to say at the outset is that you guys are just superstars. Okay, that is hands down. You know, we've spoken a fair bit over the years. You know, at the BSA conference, various BSA meetings, Stammer Fest, all sorts of things, and just from those meetings alone, I can see the transformation as well in all of you. You know, my story is very similar to yours. You know, there've been periods as a young lad when, you know, we've struggled to say our own names, for example, and now you know, life has literally been flipped on its head, where, you know, I never thought I'd be speaking for a living, and that's basically what I do now. And one of the things you mentioned there, actually, Chris, was that, you know, self-acceptance and just being obviously comfortable in your own skin and just speaking however it is you want to speak. It doesn't matter how the rest of the world sees it. And yes, you're right, it takes years and years and lots of grit and, you know, stomachs of steel and name it to build that rhino skin. And yeah, it's never easy. So you know, thanks for putting this out there. And similarly, we're pushing out the word to other groups where it's may not be sort of directly sort of speech or stammering related, but similarly where youngsters are maybe suffering from other things which affect their mental health, for example, and the same sort of principles apply, where they need to push through and you know, have that right sort of mindset to want to get through it. And it's so difficult, you know. I mean, depression, you know, suicide, is all those things that they all go through, and it's, you know, I see it more and more so. So I don't have a direct question as such, but I applaud you all for doing what you do. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Neil.
Just want to touch upon some of those key points, because one of the things that we are like really focused on is it isn't to not stutter, but more to encourage people to give you the permission to stutter. So create an environment where it's actually okay to stutter, but genuinely you feel okay and comfortable to stutter. And through that, you can actually start to improve the way you express yourself. And just over time, things do improve. I'll let Io take the question in the chat, since he just shotgunned it.
Yeah, it was a good question. Let me just scroll up. So do any of you have bad days with speech, e.g. can't get certain words out? I block every single day. I stutter bad every single day. It might not sound like it now, but I use techniques. Obviously, you guys can obviously tell I'm using techniques, and that helps a lot. But the key thing is, I've taken out the shame out of blocking. That is primarily the focus of Stop Holding Back. That is what will take you beyond the stuttering mindset and the self-hate you have and the guilt around stuttering, if you can work on taking the shame out of blocking in front of people, everything changes. So then it becomes easy to use techniques. It becomes easy because you're so relaxed with blocking anyway. So I can have a massive block now, and I will ride that block to the end and then carry on speaking. And that facilitates the work of improving my speech beyond that after I've worked on that. So that's the key, taking the shame out of blocking. And I block every day. Every day. I'm just like you guys.
Thanks, Ayo. We're just going to take another question here from, where is that? It is Louis and Ollie. Lewis and Ollie, is it Lewis? It's basically asked, what mindsets do you have? So we just talk about a little bit about what kind of mindset you use in order to get you through your days.
I'll answer this one, guys. So the mindset that we adopt at Stop Holding Back is actually a mentality where we use every speaking situation to show the listener that we're working on our speech. And that is the constant mindset that we adopt. And that's how we approach every speaking situation. Growing up, it was always, how quickly can I get through this conversation? How am I going to get through the conversation without the listener knowing that I have a speech impediment of any kind, any sort? And we've completely transformed that to, we no longer care if we block. We're completely desensitized to it. And like Io was mentioning when answering the last question, it's not about us being able to get to conversations fluently. It's about us just accepting that if we block and we move on. And that is the mentality that we've adopted. And we call that mentality the advertised mentality. So we're advertising to the listener that we're working on our speech.
That's awesome, Chris. Actually, I just recall an interview I did actually with Claire. Hey, Claire. Because we're currently in the middle of making a documentary. We're doing this awesome project where I'm making a track with some of these guys, which Ayo, Claire, and Chris are all involved in. And Claire mentioned same kind of thing, which was just super touching, which was, it was really moving. It basically, you mentioned that you realized at some point, Claire, that you realized that you'd look back at conversations and realize that you were not saying what you wanted to say a lot of the time.
Absolutely.
And, yeah. Do you mind just chatting about that a sec?
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what I said to you, Danny, actually, because it feels like such a long time ago. But yeah, I think, and just to give some background, guys, hi, I'm Claire. So as part of my day job, I'm the head of financial crime for a credit card company. And in my spare time, I run Stuck, which is the Stammers Through University consultancy. And I was talking to Danny about my stammering experiences. And I've been stammering since I was 5, so about 24 years ago. And I think that it just took me so long to get to the point where I just don't care now if I stammer. I mean, I only got to that point about 2 or 3 years ago, really. But up until then, it really, really angered me if I stammered, and it upset me, and it impacted my mental health hugely. And I look back now, and I was just substituting words like a boss. I was brilliant at it. But I was sort of at the point where I look back at conversations now that I have, and it just makes me sad that I wasn't saying the words that I actually wanted to say, because I was trying to substitute words for any single word that I could say at the time without stammering. But now if I stammer, you know, I just do it. And I'm, with my job, I have video calls from maybe 8:30 to 5:30 every day. I'm just in back-to-back meetings. But if I stammer, that's what I do.
So be it.
Yeah, absolutely. So be it.
Yeah. I thought that I just thought that was magic, because actually, you know, the thought that you know, coming to that kind of realization where you know, even if you're substituting words, you can try and find the closest word, but if it means that you're actually not saying quite what you wanted to say, it's kind of not okay. And yeah, so you came to that point and made that realization, and just yeah, I thought that was magic. Thanks, Claire. Does anyone else have any questions at this moment? You can even just raise your hand if you want to ask it verbally, if there's nothing in the chat right now. And if not, I know what we can do. So what we'll do right now is, if that's cool with my collaborators here, I'll just drop in and just teach a little a really cool sound. I mentioned that scratch sound. Is that cool if I get into that now, just kind of before we go into what's going on in the break? All right, cool stuff. So beatbox hats back on. Let's do this. Right, so I'll do this now because that's good, because it means that the next beatbox section, which we have like another section just after the break, we'll be able to focus on 2 awesome rhythms. Those 2 awesome rhythms are going to be old school 90s drum and bass, okay, which is basically this. Okay, we're going to learn that rhythm, right? Sounds complicated, whatever, you'll nail it, okay? And it's all about breaking it down. We break it down into words again, okay? We break it down into words and you'll all absolutely nail this. The other rhythm is totally different. It's the soca rhythm. This one's like kind of from, think about carnival in Brazil. Check Neil out. It's like, yeah, he's at carnival right now. He's feeling it. So that's the one, right? So we're going to learn those 2 rhythms. So right now, in these few minutes, we'll go over the scratch. I told you the sound is this. This is the scratch, okay? And the whole mechanism of the scratch is basically slowing down, rewinding, speeding up. Okay, that's basically what you're doing. So you're taking control of a sound. So whether the sound is, if I was going to say J, if I was going to say J's name, right, I'd be like, or J, J. That's what you're doing. You're kind of slowing it down, bringing it back. Now, the way you get this is we're going to break it down into 4 steps, okay? The first step, you've already got. Look at that. We're already 1 step ahead, literally. First step is that high-pitched chicken sound thing, right? It says, this is the most important sound in making the vocal scratch sound, because that sound there, okay, remember we had our hand on our chest, right? That sound there is what brings the scratch to life. That makes it sound like a real record. Okay. Step 2, you can do this by putting your hand, because the nice one, Jay, I can see Jay giving it a real go there. So what you want to do is, it's a very visual thing. It's a very physical thing, beatboxing as well. So you see kind of beatboxers like kind of using their hands a lot, and I do that. And if I'm basically scratching, my hand will literally make the movement of a DJ moving that record forwards and backwards, because you got to feel it. You got to become the instrument, right? So put your hands like this, okay? And just what we're going to do is we're going to say the word, it's not really a word, but imagine this word A-U-W, and it's going to sound like this. Ow. Okay. Yeah. So we're just going to go, and literally what you're doing there is you're slowing down the record. So A-U-W, ow. Yeah. Ow. One more time. Ow. Excellent stuff. Another trick here in making this scratch sound realistic. Okay. One is the, which we'll get to in a second. Second one is getting this kind of gravelly sound in the throat at the end of this slowdown. Okay. So when you go, ow, can you hear that kind of gravelly, this kind of thing? Almost like a haunted house, creaky door. This kind of, you want that kind of at the end. Ow. Just a little snippet of that sound. Nice one, Tim. Nice one, guys. Okay, step 3, we're going to rewind that. So now we're doing W-U-A. That shouldn't have been too difficult to get that, to write that backwards. W-U-A. So we're going to go. That's almost like a haunted house, creaky door, right? So what you want to do there is you start with that gravelly sound, right? And then you want to go W-A. So go, okay. Now what we've got to do is put these 3 together. Here's what it sounds like if you just do steps 2 and 3 together, okay, without, it's going to sound like this. Which sounds all right. Now hear what happens when you put this into it. Ow, what? Ow, what? Ow, what? Ow, ow, what? Ow, what? Ow, what? Yeah, that's what we got now. Ow, what? Ow, what? That's what it is. So this is the fundamental key mechanics of producing a real life record vocal scratch that is, you can impress people with, you can say what you like. Ayush, yeah, it's ow. Exactly, yeah, it's kind of like A-U-U-U. You can say, as long as the sound is ow, right? It's fine, right? I see it as A-U-double, A-U-ow, because it ends with w, right? There we've got it. Now it's time to open it up. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to learn a scratch pattern very quickly. Awada awa. Say that. Say ewede ewe. Say iwidi iwi. And say owodo owo. Same pattern, just a different kind of sound, okay? Different kind of phonetical sound. Awada awa, ewede ewe, iwidi iwi, owodo owo. Now, if we turn that into our scratch, we actually use the scratch, all of those 4 steps. We get awada awa, ewede ewe, iwidi iwi, and owodo owo. Right? And then, right? Then, I know this is moving fast, but, okay, it's all about knowing the techniques, remember the techniques, and it's about practice. The next thing is the magic part of the scratch, because that sounds all right, doesn't it, on its own? Oh, what? Okay, but now you can say what you like, okay? So if I was going to say the word Ayush, did I pronounce your name correctly? Ayush? Ayush, yeah, fantastic. So if I was going to say Ayush, I start with A. So we know we're going A in order to make it sound realistic, right? And then we can choose one of our scratch patterns. So we can choose, for example, awa, Ayush, right? Awa, Ayush. Or we can, awa, Ayush. That's the other scratch pattern, right? Awa, Ayush, right? And then, you know, the next steps will be, and you can go on, but it's all scratch patterns, but it's the same fundamental. We've got, ow, That's basically it. Okay. You can say whatever you want. Any sound you can say with the beatbox scratch technique. Okay. All you need to do is take the first sound of the word that you're trying to say. If I was going to say Claire, I'd be k, k. I need to start with the k. It's actually the first syllable is cl in Claire's name, right? It's not just k, it's cl, cl, cl. So you need to get that kind of sound in there, right? So all of that. So go cl what, right? Cl what, Claire, or cl what, Claire. There's your two scratch patterns, guys. There we go. There's scratch, learning the art of vocal scratching in 4 steps. Remember those things. If you want to write this down, write it down, because it's all about practice in your own time. All right, wicked stuff. Okay, now, it's 2:28 here in the UK. And right about now, we're about to go into a bit of a break. Now, I need to let you know what's going on in this break. This break, you have a couple of options, really. We have some Q&As going. So the break is for 30 minutes. Okay, we're running it from basically in a couple of minutes, as soon as I finish speaking right now, for 30 minutes. Okay, we're going to have 3 sections of Q&As. The first section is with Stop Holding Back, 10 minutes. Second section is with City Lit, 10 minutes. Next section is with myself from School of Beatbox, 10 minutes. And basically, you know, we can just have questions there. If you want to be a part of this, be entered into the breakout room so you can ask any questions and be in that room, all you need to do is message in the chat. Just put, you know, you want to be added to the breakout room, because we actually need to physically add you to that room. Okay, so the first 10 minutes will be Stop Holding Back, second 10 minutes City Lit, third 10 minutes School of Beatbox, and that will lead us into the second part of the session, which will start at 3 o'clock with Beatbox activity number 2. There is more in this break as well. So we have so who's got Facebook? Put your hands if you've got Facebook. Everyone got Facebook here? Pretty much, yeah. Everyone's got Facebook. Boom. Not everyone, but almost everyone. So I'm going to put it into the chat here. We have a hashtag, which is literally the name of this event, which is Celebrate the Voice. I've just sent it to someone privately by mistake. Let's try that again. It's basically hashtag Celebrate the Voice. What we're going to ask you to do is, in this time, if you post up this hashtag and onto your social media, easiest way to do this, if you've got Facebook, you can go over to the School of Beatbox Facebook page. Just type in School of Beatbox, all as one thing, and you'll find it. And there's a post on there about today's session. All the hashtags and everything are all in there. All you need to do is share it. Go and share that. People can still join this event, guys, so they can join in for the second half. So we want to kind of make it available to as many people as possible, and you can really help to do that. So if you share that post, what we're going to do also is, by the end of the break, we'll choose a few posts. You can put a comment on there or whatever, and we'll choose a few posts, and those people will receive a free online beatbox course. How does that sound? Does that sound all good? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Right. Okay. Awesome stuff. And so we've got that is going on there. What I'll do is I'll add the other handles here into the chat. So if anyone doesn't have Facebook and they can't access that post, you could just basically go in the chat. I've put the hashtag in there. I'll put the handles of people involved in this workshop. Thank you so much, guys. What we're going to do right now is, Ayo, if you can set up that breakout room. Anyone that wants to jump into the breakout room, like I said, the first session is with Stop Holding Back, which is going to be for the next 10 minutes, followed by City Lit for another 10 minutes, and followed by myself for another 10 minutes. If you've got any questions, you can jump into that breakout room and just we can chat verbally. Nice one. Okay, awesome stuff. So I think any moment now that breakout room will be set up. And if anyone wants to be added to the breakout room, just like I say, add a message into the chat and then you will be added. Awesome stuff. So we've got 30 minutes in this time, guys. I'm going to put these handles, like I said, into the chat for anyone that doesn't have Facebook. Otherwise, you can head over to School of Beatbox Facebook page and you'll see a post easily shareable. I'm having great fun today. This is awesome. It's so good to have so many people. And when I was looking at the registrations coming in, it was, you know, we mentioned, you know, we called it free online workshop for the global stuttering community. And it's really global. It's really awesome. It's like people from all over the place, which is absolutely fantastic. It's all we could have imagined, really. All we could have dreamed of for this event. Hope you guys are getting lots out of it and enjoying it. I've got some great stories from people.
So because we haven't got anyone explicitly asking to go to the breakout room, if anyone wants to ask any questions, I think they can do it here. That's cool.
Sure.
With you, Danny.
Absolutely, yeah. That's probably easier to do, eh? We can just keep a little chat going in here. Just keep it open. If anyone's kind of muted and they want to ask anything in here, you can pop it into the chat or just make a signal. You can do the Macarena or whatever. I don't know. Just wave your hands in the air like you just don't care. Meanwhile, so those beats that we're going to get into shortly. Yeah, can't wait for that. Drum and bass and soca. The reason that I teach these two styles is because they're both so different. And I think that's kind of one of the things with beatboxing is you want to kind of open up different areas, different styles, because that just opens up new possibilities with your capabilities when you're beatboxing. So looking forward to teaching you that. I'm just going to whack myself on mute for a sec. And I think I will put the... Hey, Aya, we've got a question here from Steve, actually, who's asking, do SHB do any group Zoom calls, like weekly or monthly? Have you got anything like that going?
Yeah, so if you go to the website, stopholdingback.org, we just had a massive update. So we've launched all of our programs and we have SHB Members Club, which includes the video program that we use to coach people, learn these techniques and actually just improve their lives. That's only £20 a month and you get monthly Zoom calls. And we have a private Facebook group where everyone's heading towards the same North Star, working on their speech. And we're very close. We're very close in that Facebook group. But you have to become a member of the charity. All the information is on the website.
Nice one, Io. There's another question from, let me just get this right. Is it Louis or Lewis? Where are you guys? Hold on, I'm just going to come over to you. Just don't want to be getting your name wrong. You should have a, do you have a pop-up? Yeah, is it Lewis or Louis?
Hi, it's, that's Ollie and I'm Rebecca. It's just,
okay.
It's his brother's name, that's all.
Oh, I'm with you. Okay, Ollie and Rebecca, got you. How are you guys doing?
Very well, thank you. It's really interesting. My question really was,
yes.
Ollie sat next to me is nearly 14. And I've read
hey, Ollie.
Hiya.
Hey, man.
I've read quite a few books on stammering and they've often got quite conflicting viewpoints. And I just wondered really, what's the best way that I can help him with his stammering?
Okay. SHB, who would like to take take this question? Thank you, Rebecca. Thanks, Ollie.
I can answer this one, or I can offer my advice. What I would do is I would ignore the speech. I would work on Ollie, what makes Ollie happy, what Ollie wants to do in his life. Remove the stuttering at this age. At this age, everyone just wants to work on the stutter, reduce the stutter, reduce the stutter, reduce the stutter. But what I realized at that age is that I was trying to remove the stutter, and the more I wasn't able to do it, the more I wasn't working on me, and I was becoming more and more introverted. I wasn't improving my self-esteem at all. So what I would do is focus on what Ollie wants to do, and then work on the speech after that. Okay, so everyone thinks speech first, and then you work on yourself. But I believe work on yourself first, and as a byproduct, your speech will naturally improve, because you're not so focused on the trauma that comes with the speech. You're not so focused on all the negative things that come as a result of blocking, because Ollie is still doing what he wants to do. And that is the key for me at that age. It's not about fluency, it's about doing what Ollie wants to do in life. And if you focus on that first as a byproduct, he will find himself in more speaking situations, and he will be getting involved in more speaking situations. And as a result of that, as a byproduct, speech will naturally improve. The less you speak, then obviously the more it's going to manifest, and we'll just keep going on and on and on in his head. But if he's doing what he wants to do and he's getting involved in speaking situations, then as a byproduct, like I said, speech will naturally improve, self-esteem will improve, confidence will improve, and it could get to the point that regardless of if he blocks or not, he's still getting involved in what he wants to get involved in. I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Just a little bit, but you basically said it all. At that young age, you just need to help him do the things he really enjoys, and ensure him that he can do it regardless of how he sounds. Honestly, at that age, that's the only thing I recommend you should be concentrating on with him. Like, find out his hobbies, what he likes to do, and push him into those things. And if he starts to complain about he can't speak or he's blocking a lot, just tell him he can do it. Like, give him any reassurance he needs. And also, what will help is if you can communicate with like the coaches or the teachers. Just communicate with people who engage with Ollie on a day-to-day basis, to not put any attention whatsoever on his speech. Like, zero attention. Just be patient with him and let him speak. No matter how long he's blocking for, just let him block. Let him completely block. Let him get used to blocking, because that's the only way he will release the stuttering mindset and release all the shame and guilt around stuttering, is if he desensitizes himself from the actual blocking. And that's my advice to parents, because if my parents had given me that advice, well, I don't know where I would be right now, but I'm telling you, that's the best advice.
Thank you, guys. Just a quick one, just to add. When I was growing up, and I was stuttering quite badly, it was actually more of a problem for my parents than for me at that age. I just wanted to play games and that kind of stuff, but then through time that gets imparted on to the kid. So the insecurities and just that feeling of because we hope for the best for our child, and we want them to do well, but we feel that anxiety when they speak, or if they're speaking in front of our friends, or in my parents' case, if I was blocking in front of their friends or at family parties, then they would feel that anxiety. And then through time, that got imparted onto me. So it's kind of a teamwork between the parents and the child, just to to get through it together. And yeah, happy days.
Can I ask a question? What is city lit? Because I don't know what that is.
Oh, yeah, so I think my talk is scheduled for a bit later, but I can just tell you briefly.
No worries.
Like, you know, it's an adult education college, so it's a college, but for adults of any age. So it's not like a college that people might go to after school, although they could. It's for anybody, and it runs all kinds of courses, and there is a department there for speech therapy. So that's kind of why I'm here. So we run courses for people who stutter. So yeah, but you'll hear a bit more about it later.
Thank you.
Okay.
How are we all doing, guys?
If you check the chat, Danny, I think you have a question.
So we're just doing it to kind of, we won't do the 10 minute, scrap that. Anyone's got any questions? Is that what we're doing? That's cool.
There's a request for you, Danny, to do a bit of a rendition, Michael Jackson.
Sorry, that's my fault.
Who's that? Claire? Nice one. Let me see. Where is that? First, just how the process was what you did, the way you make me feel much. At least you give us a cheeky rendition. Absolutely. Absolutely. You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
This is an old school classic. Michael Jackson. You know this one. It goes a little something like this. A pretty blade, your pop wheels up. You give me fever like you never blew reverberation up. You bust the product, blood bleeding. I like the groove up, walk built up your strips. I feel your fever, my blue rap. You pick me up and paint the town. Me baby, pure blue up. Cause you're the one for me. The way you make me feel. You really turn me up. You put me off of my feet up, baby. My lonely days are gone. 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 Here we go. Well, thank you. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
No worries, Claire. Awesome stuff. Old classic. That's one of my little finale pieces. If I'm doing a live show, that's one of the secret weapons I pull out at the end. There you have it. So beatboxing, yeah, it's a magical thing. There's so many things you can do with the voice. It's such a powerful, for me, I think the vocal is the most powerful instrument when it comes to music, when it comes to what you can do, because there's nothing to hide behind, right? It's almost like, I kind of feel that in how people say the eyes are the like portal to the soul. I mean, I'm a strong believer of that as well, that the eyes never lie. If you look someone in the eyes, very difficult to lie. You can always see the truth, right? It's there. And I think the same thing with the voice kind of holds that kind of same truth. So I think like when you're singing, when you're rapping, when you're speaking, you know, there's a real sense of, obviously it's an incredibly powerful tool for communication, but even through music, when you hear somebody sing, and they are, you can really get a sense basically of where that person's coming from. If they're singing from their heart, or if they're just singing something to hit the notes, you know, you can kind of feel that. And so for me, the vocal is the most powerful instrument. And look what you can do with it, right? You can, you know, make drum sounds. And this is another fascinating thing. Sorry, I'm just going off on one right now, but very quickly, while I'm on this point, is something that's fascinating is with beatboxing, like electronic music, for example, has been developing, right? And before there was a lot of the electronic sounds, people didn't make those, because what we're doing as beatboxers, we're replicating sounds, we're copying sounds. We hear something and then it becomes it's in our subconscious, becomes part of our psyche, and then we try and recreate it. So if we haven't heard the sound, we don't know to try and make that sound, but it doesn't mean that we can't make that sound. We couldn't make that sound then. So that kind of puts me in a place of like, wow, what other possibilities are there with the voice? Because all the new school beatboxers nowadays are doing these crazy, like these bass wobbles and stuff. My best is like this kind of stuff, right? But we never used to do those types of sounds back in the day, because we didn't have these bass wobble. The bass wasn't wobbling. It was always like kind of straight. Right? And now it's like change, and all of the sounds that we hear. So actually all I'm trying to say is our potential in life generally, let's just open this up to human potential, is really limitless. We don't know what we're capable of yet, because the bar is only set where it's set. For example, when the first 100-meter runner, can't remember who it was, but back in the day when the first 100-meter runner ran the 100 meters in under 10 seconds, suddenly loads of people were running the 100 meters in under 10 seconds. But until that point, no one thought it was possible. So no one was even striving to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we don't know what our potential is. So, I mean, me with beatboxing and actually thinking about this kind of stuff more and more, is just like, wow, we don't know what our potential is in any respect. It's not just about what other people, what bar has been set right now. It's not just about what bar has been set. No. We can set the bar. we can be the next one to set the bar. So there's my 2 pence. How are we doing for time, guys? We're at 10 to 3. Awesome. We've got another 10 minutes before we crack on with the second half of this event. Awesome stuff. Oh yeah. Hey guys. Hey Rebecca, Ollie.
Hi. Just sorry, we'll have to go now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's we really appreciate everything that you've done, and we've really enjoyed it, and we'll certainly be looking at the Stop Holding Back website.
Great stuff. Please do.
Right now, yeah. So thanks. Thank you. But you take care.
Thank you so much for attending, guys. Thank you for taking the time to be here. It's been great having you. Thanks for your questions and everything too.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Awesome stuff. Oh, lovely vibes today, I have to say. Good energy, good weekend vibes. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Good vibrations.
And Danny, please, can I ask you a question?
Of course you can.
Thank you. I just wondered, when did you get to the point where, with your stammer, did you think that you could start using beatbox to help other people? Because obviously it's done wonders for yourself, but when did you start thinking, actually, I can take this further?
So my stammer started when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and it lasted for about 3 years. And I forget the statistics, but there's a certain number of people. Usually starts with kids, and I was one of those kids. And there's a certain percentage of kids where it kind of, I don't know, it kind of fades kind of naturally. And then for a certain other percentage, it sticks around for a lot longer. It can be a lifetime, can be, you know. And basically it was that kind of crossover point, Claire, where around 11 years old, it was around that time that I'd started writing lyrics. That was my kind of thing then. I really got into my music. I was always into singing. I was always into rapping and singing and music, and always kind of saw myself as being a vocalist of some sort. It was kind of this dream in my head. Saw myself on stage with my favorite artists and all that kind of stuff, right? And then, but basically when I was 11, I started writing lyrics, and that's kind of where I really took hold of my creativity, and found that I was getting so much out of music, being a creator of music, coming up with my own words, and being in control of what I wanted to say in a rhythmical way. And when I started sharing that around that age, 11, 12 years old, and I was getting such good response from people. I remember like my first rap was, my first ever rap was like, I can't remember the whole lyrics. It was like, people always say that there's a time and a place for each and every case, that there's blood on the face of a white, black, Puerto Rican mixed race. People getting beat when they don't even want to taste, or something like that. And anyway, I was really like, you know, always like peace and love, and like, you know, and anyway, I was writing all these lyrics, and it really became a part of my world. But then straight on after that, I started to not only hear the lyrics that I was writing, but I could hear the drums that I wanted to go with it. And so that became a thing. And because I was thinking about it so much, because it was there in my subconscious, I started to do it, humming like, just started with a little clicks and sounds. And before you know it, you know, when you start doing something more and more, you know, the sound develops. But honestly, Claire, what happened is when my stutter kind of went, I kind of locked that period up, because I was so happy that it had passed, that I kind of just left it behind. And when I started School of Beatbox, I was really thinking about like what this is about. It was a social enterprise, and I knew that I wanted to give something back and you know, reach people. And it was around that time when I was kind of thinking about School of Beatbox that I kind of just thought, wow, you know, I started to look back at my childhood and started looking back at this period of my life that I found really challenging, but I hadn't looked at for a long time. And I just recalled like all of the challenges that I faced then, like the swapping of words and things in my head, and how kind of stressful I found it. So I just knew that I wanted to do something with, you know, to support and raise awareness was the main thing about stuttering. So when I reached out and checked out British Stammering Association, and I started to read more about the current need for raising awareness about stammering, I just knew that that's what I wanted to do. And that's kind of when I went to the conference in 2018 to go and pretty much gate crash it and just be like, let me do and they, you know, they were really, really welcoming, and let me did a 1 hour talk on beatboxing and my stammer, and started rounding up a few people to do the performances, which we did, and you were part of too. Yeah.
Please, could you give us another song? We've got 5 minutes.
I'll just do another. Okay, freestyle. Okay, here's a really cool sound. Check this out. This one I called the build up. Okay, very, very cool sound. This is made up of this sound. It's also made of a heartbeat sound. Okay, and what you do is you make that up. So like lift it up like that. Separately, not that impressive. When you put them together, let's check this out. Okay, it goes like this. You know, that kind of build up just before a track. And if we're going to drop like it when the you know, drop that just before the beat's about to drop, and you do something like here we go. Well, thank you very much. Beatboxing is, I don't know, apart from just being a very cool skill, addictive kind of art form. One, because you can never forget your instrument at home, right? Because our mouths are here to stay. And the other thing is that the speed at which you can kind of go from inspiration to creation, which is so fast. There's no, if you can that's kind of one of the things I'm really working on, which is like be inspired by something and try and have no filter before that's expressed. You know what I'm saying? It's just like an idea. Like whatever comes into your head, the first thing that comes out, just give it, believe in it, give it strength and power, don't question it. Anyway, that's kind of my kind of mode for the beatbox, but it's a magical art form. There's so many different ways you can do it. Back from, what do they call it? Ragtime. There's like an old school. This is like ragtime. And if you go back to like the 50s, where you had barbershop quartets and things like that, there's all kind of different styles of using your beatboxing, but then, you have someone on the bass, kind of, similar to what we're doing with the voice orchestra thing. We're just having different people doing different sections, but a whole orchestra, but just using the voice. We'll talk a little bit about the project and what we've been doing. Very, very exciting. It really is. And we'll be getting to that in this second session. And I think we're pretty much there. We're at 3 o'clock, guys. And that means it's beatbox time once again. I hope you guys are ready for our 2 beats that we're going to do in this section. I can see some people that need to be admitted to the session. So I'm going to crack right on so we get the most out of this time. Let's get as much content, good stuff for you guys. If you want to make notes, make these notes, get it down. I'm going to look back at the chat as well, guys. Okay, so if I've missed any questions, what I'll do is I'll try and get back to you personally. Okay, I'll check out the chat and I'll get back to you personally. If any questions are in there, we will get back to you. So right now we're getting into our second beatbox session. Thank you so much for staying with us. This is about learning 2 very specific and different styles of rhythm. Okay, learning beatboxing this way is the way to go. Push yourselves into different worlds of rhythm. Okay, First rhythm we're going to go into is an old school rhythm, comes from the 90s, which is a style of music called drum and bass. Okay. Drum and bass music sounds a little something like this. It's usually about 170 BPM for you techies and musicians out there that kind of know what that means. That's basically beats per minute, 170 beats per minute. So it's basically something around this kind of stuff, right? Very fast, but check it out. You guys are gonna rock this rhythm in minutes. I don't want to know if you're not ready. I just want to know that you're ready. That's all I want to know right now. Here it is. Every style of rhythm has a heartbeat. Every style of rhythm has a heartbeat, okay? And that's where we're going to start with drum and bass. The heartbeat of drum and bass is this. Boom, ka, 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 boom, ka. Come on, boom, ka, boom, ka, boom, ka, boom, ka. Come on, boom, ka, boom, ka, boom, ka, boom, ka. That's our heartbeat. It's a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Once you've got that heartbeat and you've got that groove, you are kind of set. That's the foundation of drum and bass. Already, it's simple, right? Feel that in any way you want. If you want to tap on your thighs, drum on your chest, drum on the table, just feel that rhythm. Get physical with it. Get physical. Let it be part of your, let it enter your body, okay? There's our groove, okay? Feel that groove. Let it be part. I can see the heads nodding now, and that's kind of where we want to be. Now what we want to do is add what I'll call the tickles. What? Yeah, the tickles. Tickle, 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 tickle. That's what we're talking about. So the groove is now going to be boom, ka, tickle, tickle, boom, ka. Boom, ka, tickle, tickle, boom, ka. Boom, ka, tickle, tickle, boom, ka. Sing it. Boom, ka, tickle, tickle, boom, ka. Come on, boom, ka, tickle, tickle, boom, ka. Boom, cat, tickle, tickle, boom, cat. Yes, Gil. Boom, cat, tickle, tickle, boom, cat. Come on. You can change the snare even if you want, like. That's the PF. That's the PF. You can. You can change your snare as you like, guys. Remember that. Yeah, your snare, switch them around anytime you want. Okay. So boom, ka, tickle, tickle, boom, ka. Boom, ka, tickle, tickle, boom, ka. Who's ready to share? Let's go. Hand in the air. One person. Let's go. Who's going to do it? Who's going to drop? Drop it. Drop it. Come on. Who's doing it? I need one. Jay, you've been nominated. Let's go.
Boom, ka, boom, 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 ka, boom, ka, boom, 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 ka, boom, ka. Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. Go again.
Boom, ka, tickle, tickle. Boom.
Boom, ka, tickle, tickle, boom, ka. Boom, tickle, tickle, boom, ka. Boom, ka, tickle, tickle, boom, ka. Boom, ka, tickle, tickle, boom, ka.
That is absolutely fantastic. Let's give Jay a round of applause from around the world. Absolutely fantastic, my young man. That is fantastic. That's basically the foundation of drum and bass you got right there. Now, so you start slow, okay? You start slow and you speed it up. The way that you learn beatboxing is you master a speed that feels comfortable. So if that's where you're at, master that first. And then what you do is you slowly but surely just speed it up gradually. And try and hold that. As soon as you get to a point where you feel that you're struggling and you're not able to produce the sounds clearly, or it's difficult to hold the rhythm, go back to the speeds just before that you can master, okay? And stay on that speed and then slowly speed it up from there. So that's how you kind of develop your beatbox practice, okay? So boom, cat, tickle, tickle, boom, cat, boom, cat, tickle, tickle, boom, cat. That's easy. That's in the bag. That was like Zoe last year. Now check this out. We're doing this. Boom, cat, tickle, tickle, boom, cat, boom, boom, cat, tickle, tickle, boom, cat. So the pattern is twice as long. All we're doing is adding a double kick. This is a double bass drum. If I ever say kick, I mean bass. It's the same thing. Kick drum, bass drum, same thing. I'm just throwing that in there to confuse you. I'm not, but there's just in case I do say it. Bass drum, kick drum, same thing. Here's the rhythm. Boom, ka, tickle, tickle, boom, ka, boom, boom, ka, tickle, tickle, boom, ka. And again, boom, ka, tickle, tickle, boom, ka, boom, boom, ka, tickle, tickle, boom, ka. Come on, boom, ka, tickle, tickle, boom, ka, boom, boom, ka, tickle, tickle, boom, ka. Everybody, ka, tickle, tickle, boom, ka, boom, boom, ka, tickle, tickle, boom, ka. Come on. Yep. Write it down. It's like boom, cat, tickle, tickle, boom, cat, boom, boom, cat, tickle, tickle, boom, cat. Yeah, boom, cat, tickle, tickle, boom, cat, boom, boom, cat, tickle, tickle, boom, cat. Now you see how that sounds like proper nice drum and bass now. That's the pattern. That's the pattern. It's not that difficult. You just got to break it down into sections. And then once you kind of find your speed, you can speed it up. Yeah, look at these heads rocking. Ooh, yeah. That's when you know that you're feeling it, right? If your head's moving, that's you into the groove. And that's another important thing about learning beatboxing. You first need to see it as like the logical side of it, working it out. Okay, you need to work it out. Okay, thinking about it, that comes after that, boom, cat, and then there's a couple of tickles and blah, blah, blah. But you need to transition to the side of the brain where it becomes automatic. You have to get to that point when it becomes automatic, because when it gets to that point, you can't force it. So you've got to work it out first. That's absolutely part of it. But once it moves, once you transition to the side where you can like close your eye, you can relax. You don't have to think about it. Once you start feeling that groove and you're not thinking about it, that's when your rhythm will come to life. Because that's when you can start to think about different accents on different sounds. You can put emphasis on certain bits. You can try and deliver those snares in a different way, the kick drums in a different way, and you'll start to really develop your sound. Okay, so there we have the drum and bass beats. We got yep. What you can do then is the final thing is you add a final tickle at the end. Okay, so that whole rhythm is ka, tickle, tickle, boom, ka, boom, boom, ka, tickle, tickle, boom, ka, tickle, boom, ka, tickle, tickle, boom, ka, yeah, boom, boom, ka, tickle, tickle, boom, ka, tickle, boom. When you understand what the rhythm actually is, each part, and you slow it down, it's like, actually, the rhythm becomes accessible. right? The rhythm becomes accessible. It's like, right, you understand it now. All you need to do is just master that rhythm and slowly speed it up. It's that same rhythm. We can all do that. Anyone want to give this rhythm a go? Who wants to share their beat with us today? A bit of drum and bass. You can choose any level of that drum bass. If you just want to do the, you can totally do that too. Choose any level, right? So you can, come on, one person. I need one. I'm not giving up. Steve, let's do it, Steve. Nice one, buddy. Let's do this. Come on. Yeah. He didn't only just nail it, but he nailed the full rhythm, the whole thing with the extra tickle at the end. I heard that. Absolutely smashed it. Nice one, Steve. So you can see how quickly. Have you ever done any beatboxing before, Steve?
No, I haven't ever done any that kind.
You see that? That's magic. That gives me so much energy, so much vibe, because you can learn this stuff very, very quite quickly, right? You can learn it quite quickly. It's just patterns. We're going to move straight into our second pattern, guys. This is the rhythm of soca. Okay, the soca rhythm is, the words for this one. Okay, so we got boom, kaboom, ka, 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 boom, kaboom, ka. This is the heartbeat of soca. Soca is like a carnival style rhythm. Okay, think about Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, carnival, you know, procession going down the street. It's carnival. It's that type of groove, okay? Boom, kaboom, ka, boom, kaboom, ka. Let's get that rhythm going now. Yeah. So what you want to do, first of all, like I said before, is you really just go over that rhythm, keep doing that rhythm until you really feel it, till it's kind of in your body, it's in your system, and you're making yourself dance. When you start to make yourself dance, you know you got it. There we have it. Boom, kaboom, ka, boom, kaboom, ka, for days. Okay, that's our kind of groove. That's kind of where it sits. Now, we're going to do the same thing we did with the drum and bass rhythm, is we're going to add in a couple of bits. Very simple. The words for this now become boom, kaboom, ka, put it in kaboom, ka. Boom, kaboom, ka, put it in kaboom, ka. Put it in kaboom, ka, right? Boom, kaboom, ka. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Absolutely, but it's just a way to remember the groove, to remember the rhythm. Okay, so we got boom, kaboom, ka, put it in kaboom, ka, boom, kaboom, ka, put it in kaboom, ka, come on, boom, kaboom, ka, put it in kaboom, ka, yeah, boom, kaboom, ka, put it in kaboom, ka, yeah, boom, kaboom, ka, put it in kaboom, ka, boom, kaboom, ka, put it in kaboom, ka, boom, kaboom, ka, put it in kaboom, ka. Boom, kaboom, ka, put it in kaboom, ka, boom, kaboom, ka, put it in kaboom, ka, do, 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 do. The boom is boom, always there. Boom, kaboom, ka, put it in kaboom, ka. That's always there, right? Straight. How you guys feeling? I'm loving seeing these heads moving around like this. Neil's like, woo! Yeah, but it's the sound of carnival. It's an energetic rhythm. You know, it might make you sweat. That's probably a positive thing. It probably means that you're doing it right, or you're at least on the right track. Now, the next thing with any of these rhythms is this is something to try in your own time, okay? Don't have a massive amount of time to get into this today, but something that you can try is activating. So when you're thinking about beatboxing, you want to think about your whole instrument. So you have this layer here, which is basically where pretty much this, like your drum section. This is all your drums. This all comes from the mouth. Even like the back of the throat to get that. It's kind of happening, but it's all here. Then you've got high pitch sounds, which can occur here. It's a very nasal sound right up here. If you make the sound of like NG, think about that, very nasal, NG, think about that, right? And then you move it up like a high pitch sound. So you've got that going there, and you've also got this section. So these are kind of your main sections when you're beatboxing. So you've got throat section, which you got your you can literally just hum. Right, so you just got like this kind of very easy, almost like your talking voice. Okay, do 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 do. Right, so all these sound. So this is kind of what you want to think about, and you want to try. The first thing that you do is add a hum to your beat. Okay, don't worry about all of that right now, but think about adding a hum to your beat. So what I mean, first thing you do is you add a hum on your bass drum. So instead of, you go bum, 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 bum. Right? Just get a little hum going. That means you're activating your voice box. All of a sudden, you have another layer in your beatboxing. Okay, you have a melody. You have an option to drop a melody in there or a bass line. So let's take the drum and bass rhythm. Now we can go boom. You get the idea, right? You're just awakening another area and you add a note in there. Wicked stuff. You guys rock. Smashing it, smashing it, smashing it. Excellent stuff. I hope that you guys have absorbed some of these lessons we've learned. I'm just going to very quickly go over. We've got the bass drum, hi-hats, snares, PF, 808, K snare, okay? And there's other ones in there we didn't get onto today. Then we learn our first rhythm, right? We also had our boom, kaboom, boom, boom, kaboom, chicken. Okay. Second rhythm we learned was our drum and bass. Boom, kaboom, ka. Sorry. Boom, cat, tickle, tickle, boom, cat. Boom, boom, cat, tickle, tickle, boom, cat. Boom, cat, tickle, tickle, boom, cat. Boom, boom, cat, tickle, tickle, boom, cat, tickle. And then the third one was our soca rhythm. Boom, kaboom, ka, put it in kaboom, ka, boom, kaboom, ka, put it in kaboom, ka. Okay, and then the next thing that you want to kind of take home is think about experimenting with your vocal. What can you do with your vocal, adding it into these rhythms? Awesome stuff. If you have any questions about beatboxing, you can message me at School of Beatbox. There's a contact section there. If you're like, I came to your, you were chatting about this beatbox stuff. I'm trying to do this sound and I can't do it, whatever. Hit me up. I'll help you out. Wicked stuff. Awesome stuff. Thank you so much for engaging in the beatboxing, everyone giving it a go. I'm now going to hand over to Corinne from City Lit. Thank you very much, guys. So Corinne, excellent stuff. Thank you so much. Hey, Corinne.
Hi. Thanks, Danny.
No worries at all. Hey.
I don't know how I'm going to follow Carnival.
Do you want to just did you manage to nail any of those rhythms just to start us off?
I don't think I'll do a performance, but I tell you what.
Put her on the spot.
So I've been a speech therapist for many years and thought I knew all the sounds that the throat and the mouth could make, but I've had a complete rethink today. That's just absolutely amazing. I don't know how you manage to do kind of 3 sounds at the same time, but anyway. It's fantastic. Okay, so I've just got a couple of slides here to share with you to talk to. Okay, so just wait. Can you see those okay? Yeah, nod from someone. Danny, can you see? Yeah, okay, great. Okay. So I'm just going to, this is just to tell you a little bit about what City Lit is and what we do. So I'm not going to spend too long on that. So City Lit it's an adult education college. So I'll just give you a very brief kind of plotted history of City Lit. So there's a picture of the building here, which I haven't seen very often over the past few months because it's been mainly online working. So City Lit is a college for adults and it runs, I think it's over 5,000 courses, so languages, textiles, photography, music, and speech therapy forms a really kind of a small part of what City Lit offers, and it's speech therapy courses for people who stammer. And I think the courses there have been running for about 50 years. I mean, they've kind of changed quite a lot over time, but that's the kind of history of it. And I think one of the really positive things about having speech therapy in a college is that you enroll as a student and it's a learning activity rather than kind of maybe quite a lot of speech therapy that might be offered within a kind of health setting. So that's what City Lit is. It's based in London, so central London. We're just on the outsides of Covent Garden. But since lockdown, we've been offering all of our courses online, and actually it's been going really well. I think, you know, I was a bit skeptical to start with, thought it's never going to work. Surely we can't do an intensive course on that, but we have, and it's worked really well. And the great thing is, I suppose, it kind of just opens up opportunities for people that are not based in the London area to come along. And all of the speech therapy that we offer is in groups, and I think that is the really kind of powerful thing, is meeting other people who stammer and sharing experiences. And just to kind of say a little bit about our philosophy of therapy, and it kind of is seems like listening to Io and Chris and Ruben talking about stop holding back. I think our philosophy is really kind of closely aligned to what they've been saying. So you know, is it okay to stammer? Yes, of course it's okay to stammer. Is it okay to have really strong negative feelings that have a major impact on your life and lead to lots of kind of avoidance? No, probably not, in the sense that that can be a real struggle. So what our therapy is aiming to do is to help people find an easier relationship with their stammering, find some strategies to kind of work with stammering, and to kind of get to a place where the kind of thoughts and feelings about stammering are not so powerful, really, so that perhaps stammering just forms a smaller part of people's lives and they can get on with whatever it is that they really want to be doing. So that's the kind of underlying philosophy. And then thinking about the kinds of courses that we offer, there's kind of three main groups of courses. So there's a category that we call freedom to speak. And in a way, those are perhaps slightly more traditional speech therapy courses where looking at people finding ways of maybe understanding their stammering a bit more, so actually understanding more about speech and understanding more about their kind of feelings and thoughts about speaking. Moving on to desensitization, which I know Stop Holding Back mentioned, so about maybe being a bit more open about stammering, reducing negative thoughts and feelings, and just being a bit more kind of resilient about stammering, and also then offering strategies to work with making stammering kind of into an easier pattern. And those courses we offer like as evening classes or intensive courses that you can come on for a week during the daytime. And then we've got courses that are around the sort of topic of employability and presenting positively. So courses such as public speaking, debating skills is a new one we're offering this year, managing in meetings, interview skills. So courses that are really with a much more kind of defined focus relating to those sort of presenting confidence and around employment. And those are shorter courses. Sometimes they're like a one-day workshop, or evening classes, or just maybe 5 or 6 week evening classes. And then the last category of courses, living well with stammering. So these courses are supporting people's kind of mental health and well-being. So we offer courses on mindfulness for people who stammer, acceptance and commitment therapy, which is around sort of looking at developing a different and kind of more positive relationship with stammering. And we also run courses entitled Difference Not Defect, which is around looking at the social model of disability in relation to stammering, and kind of, well, whose issue is this? Is it the person who stammers, or is it actually that society is needs to kind of change in the way that people who stammer might be treated within the workplace, if they apply for a job, go for an interview, and so on. So those are the kind of types of courses. And then the last slide is just to tell you a bit about advice sessions that we offer. So the team at City Lit, we're a team of 6 speech therapists. So the 3 of us there that work in there a bit more substantively, and we offer advice sessions, and that's a sort of space to come and talk about stammering. There's no kind of obligation to sign up for one of our courses. It's just an opportunity to have a kind of opinion, if you like, from a speech and language therapist, as well as having a discussion about your speech and your current concerns. There's no charge for them. And it's just about talking through what the best next steps might be. It could be coming on one of our courses, or it could be somewhere else. It might now be about, I know a bit more about Stop Holding Back. It might be signposting to other organisations that can support people. And just on a final note, just to say that we do charge for our courses because we're a college, and it's they're heavily subsidised by government funding. But for students who are in receipt of benefits, they would pay a concessionary fee, which is considerably lower. But in addition to that, there are student bursaries and financial support. So we never want people not to be able to come because they can't afford the fee. We always find a way around that, so that sometimes students come and they've paid very, very little. So that's it really. So I'm going to stop sharing the slides, and I thought maybe, so if we just got a couple of minutes, if there are any questions, because I know in the question time earlier, because I haven't spoken, perhaps people weren't sure what City Lit was. So I don't know if there are any questions that you either want to ask or put in the chat.
Any questions from anyone, guys, for Corinne? Thank you so much, Corinne. Any questions there, guys? Just raise your hand if you have a question, or you can obviously pop that into the chat also. Either way.
Great. Thank you.
Looks like you cleared everything up, Corinne. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Really great to see you all, and this great event. So I'll pass back over to you, Danny, I think.
Nice one, Corinne. Thank you so much. So I mentioned earlier, guys, that we School of Beatbox, we've been running an outreach project, obviously, to made a decision that with the social enterprise end of School of Beatbox wanted to raise awareness about stammering. So I didn't know what that was gonna be at the very beginning, but it's turned out to be just an incredibly exciting project, and the more this project moves on, the more exciting it gets. So I'll just kind of run back to what's happened so far. So I basically called up the British Stammering Association in 2018 and had a chat with them because they had their, I think it was the 10-year, was it a 10-year annual conference, or maybe it was longer, maybe it was 20 years, 10 or 20. Anyways, it was an important one. And I basically reached out to them, and I basically did a talk for 1 hour about beatboxing, about my stutter, and the idea was to engage with people from the stuttering community, because as you know, I had a stutter as well when I was a kid, and so I started to look back at this and just knew that I wanted to help raise awareness about it. So I went to the event and did the talk and started to chat to some people before and after the event, and then I just started harassing people pretty much on Twitter, the people that I'd connected with, because what was happening in the background is the UK Beatbox Championships was coming up, and they had a stage. This was at the Battersea Arts Centre in October in 2018, and they had a stage that was for outreach projects, for talks, they've got the main battling of beatboxing, so everyone going kind of head to head and saying, oh, my beatboxing is better than yours, and then they'll pick the winner and stuff. But that is other section, which was all of the projects that were beatbox related, and so this was a great opportunity to talk about what we were doing. So my mission kind of had this idea that we'd get together a group of people that experience a stutter, and we'd all work out performances, and we get on stage and we perform together. And so that was the mission. And I basically spoken to the UK Beatbox champs, and the UK Beatbox champs were kind of pressing me because they were like, right, we've got this date, and you need to say yes or no. The opportunity's there. And I was just like, of course, yes. And so you've got the crew, you've got your band, you know what you're doing. Yes, of course I do. At that point, I had 0 people, and we didn't have a song, we didn't have a performance together, and it was so close to the time. This was like, we're talking like 2 weeks before the event, and I was like, I've got to say yes to that, and then we'll just work towards that. And if I've got that in, then it's got to happen. So I was frantically messaging people that I met Neil there, I met Ayo and Chris. Actually, I met Ayo there, and I met you guys again, Ayo and Chris, at the British Stammering Association AGM, which I pretty much gate crashed again with my School of Beatbox hoodie on. I was like, I've got to get in there. I've got to just chat to, got to get on that stand just to do like a little 5-minute chat. And I spoke to, I think his name was Tim. And spoke to Tim, and he says, yeah, it sounds like a great initiative, and let me get up. And I got our last 2 singers for that first performance, which were Ayo and Chris, and you were like so essential because we needed those singers. It was just like really pushed to the bone. It was real like bottlenecking, like, oh my gosh, frantically finding the people at last minute. And then it was like, had to get into rehearsals. Meanwhile, none of these guys know that there's a performance coming at this stage. It's just like, we're just having fun. We're just having fun. And I was like, right, we've got to get this sounding good. And then once it's sounding good and the vibe is up and everyone's super excited, that's when I'll drop the news that we're going to be on stage at the UK Beatbox Champs in like a week's time or whatever. So that's kind of what went on. And in fact, so we went and did that performance. And so myself and my friend Aoife wrote this song called Free. And it's basically coming from the perspective of, actually it can relate to anyone that feels held back by something. Okay, so we kept it kind of open, and obviously we made it really from the perspective of someone that stutters and feels held back from that. But we took the positive angle on it, which is that, you know, you've decided, made that personal decision, a person that's made that personal decision to break away from it and not be held back from it by it anymore. Okay, and make that positive step. So it's called Free. A bit of the lyrics go, I figure it out, not gonna hang my head in shame, not gonna hide myself away, not me no way, I'm stepping out, I say goodbye to darker days, not gonna sabotage my fate, not me no way. There's a little sample of it, right? And there's the chorus, which is like, I'm free, free to be me. Now hear me, I'm free, free to write my story. That's the vibe, okay? So we wrote this song. I got onto my loop pedal, figured out all of these parts and the harmony. So what we did is the first rehearsal, was waiting in the rehearsal room, and literally I posted up a post on Facebook kind of with my fingers crossed like this, and it's like there's like no one had any commitment to be there, you know. There was nothing in it for them apart from feeling to raise awareness too, and being, you know, wanting to do something and wanting to join this. And trust me, you know what I mean, someone that they, you know, hardly met or never met, and basically 5 people walked through that door, and I was just like, right, this is on. Now let's just see if we can get some nice sounding vocals, you know. And I was kind of like worried, you know. I was like, how's this gonna sound? We haven't got that long. And anyway, I was just like, let's do the first thing. We'll do something like, just give me a ooh, something like that. And I waited, my eyes closed, and I was like, ooh. And I was like, yes, amazing. And basically we worked out the parts. We went to UK Beatbox Champs. We did a performance. It went down super, super well. And now we did another performance where Claire joined us for the second performance. And we performed at the London A Cappella Festival 2019, doing the same track. And it was just fantastic. And now I've been funded by the Arts Council to take the project further, and super exciting, because now we've got in the studio, and we've recorded the track. We did all the vocals just a couple of weeks ago with all of the singers, 6 singers, all of whom stammer, and we've got this track down, and we're actually filming a whole documentary about the whole story, about the vocal sessions and everything that's gone on. So sorry, I feel like I've gone on. There's a lot to say. It's a big project, and I'm very excited about it. It's just been incredibly inspiring working with such amazing people. And actually at this point, I'm just going to hand over to Claire, who, if I can just ask you to say a little bit about your experience or anything about the project, Claire.
Okay, hi guys. Yeah, so I got involved with the project. I think it was last year, Danny, wasn't it? Because I'm absolutely glued to my phone. So I saw Danny's tweet about 5 seconds in, and I was like, yeah, sign me up for that. So we performed last year at the festival, and then when and Danny said that it was going to be an actual song, I thought, this is mad, like this is absolutely crazy. So we were in the studio a few weeks ago, under COVID, obviously wearing masks and all sorts, and watching Danny trying to eat a banana. Was it a banana, Danny, through the visor? Absolute highlight of my year. And sorry, Danny, I had to. It was hilarious.
Banana into face shield, yeah.
Yeah,
Not
about
one,
10
not only
times.
once, not only one.
It was amazing. So yeah, so the whole thing was absolutely fantastic, and actually just to be able to be part of something that's going to hopefully reach everyone. And I was just saying to Danny during the interview for the documentary that even if we help one person who stammers to think slightly differently about their speech or about how they're able to communicate, or their confidence or something like that, then we've done our job, basically, haven't we, Danny? It's just trying to change the way that society sees stammering, which seems like a massive job, but it's through groups like these and through the charities that we've been talking about today that can really have that impact. So just bit by bit, we're going to be able to help change how society sees stammering. So yeah, it was brilliant. So thank you, Danny.
Thank you. Thanks for, I sent a message to these guys just yesterday because I have listened to, you know, the mix from the engineer of the track. So, you know, the studio engineer sent me a mix of the track, and I don't want to say too much about it, but because I want to present it to, you know, everyone involved, and then obviously it will be out. The documentary is planned to be out early next year, by the end of February, and you know, you can watch that and see the whole story, and then obviously have the track there for everyone to enjoy. But I don't want to say too much about the actual track, but all I can say is it just made me feel I felt so much, I don't know, it was an incredible feeling. I was very emotional, really, because just thinking about the whole project and listening to the song and listening to what you guys had actually done. You know, you'd stepped into this position, and you chose to do it. And even though there's been kind of nerves and this and that on the road to getting to where we are now, it's just amazing at what we've actually managed to create. Walk into the studio and, you know, class yourself as non-singers, some of you, and do this. So Chris from Stop Holding Back, at the very first performance at the UK Beatbox Champs, we were practicing in the hallway, in the corridor, and it was beautiful because they had beautiful acoustics there, right? And we were just singing our hearts out, and it just sounded great. And Chris had this, you know, one of the lines there, he just kept singing, now hear me. That was his like bit. He's singing other parts as well, but then it's like that bit he comes in on. And I just remember every time he sang that line, it's just this beautiful, natural tone. He sings it like, you know, he speaks. It's kind of his talking, natural voice, but he sings it. And I was just like, you know what, Chris could be on like lead vocals on this. And I was like, and I had that at the back of my head like the whole time. I could just imagine like the full picture. And anyway, I dropped that on that news to Chris, and you know, he had his kind of moment and stuff, didn't you, Chris? Do you want to say a little something, Chris, about? Oh, sorry, I've just muted you again.
Yeah, so I originally was involved, and I thought this would be really cool. I'm happy to just be a part of it, happy to just like blend in. I don't consider myself a singer or vocalist of any sort, any kind. Never been a part of a band before. I've never been in a recording studio before. I'd never performed before. So all of these things have been thrown at me at the beginning of it. And then when we got the funding to actually record it, I was asked, well, I was more told, right, than asked. I was like, right, you're going to be the lead.
Wasn't like that, was it?
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was like,
remember it like that.
You're the lead. I was like, lead what? Lead what? Like, are you sure about this, Danny? And there's other people in the band that have got amazing voices. Other people in the band, I was like, okay. And he was like, no, this song, it suits you. I want you to be the lead. Trust me, believe in yourself. And yeah, we went to the studio, we recorded it. I don't know how it sounds yet. I haven't listened to it back because we haven't heard the mix yet. So Danny's gonna drop that to us when he can. But yeah, it was an amazing experience to be part of the recording process, have that experience in such a professional environment, and create something that the stuttering community and everyone can listen to, and hopefully it just inspires a few people, like Claire said. But really enjoyable experience. Amazing.
Nice one, Chris. Yeah, thanks again. Like the biggest thing for me was like you guys trusting me. That's like it just kind of hit me. I was like, wow, what you kind of stepped into it and followed kind of the vision and things, and here we are, and it's just such a pleasure. So yeah, you'll hear the track soon, guys, and everyone else will have access to obviously we want the documentary to go out and as many people to watch it as possible. Of course, the whole mission is to raise awareness, and like Claire said, it's about a different slant on using on the voice and the use of the voice, and what more powerful way to tell a story of hope and positivity, a song sung by people that on a day-to-day basis have had to come up with ways and techniques and mindsets to overcome something that they deal with every day, and then all of them to sing this song that's coming from talking about like freedom from that, and so that's the kind of whole mission. And so yeah, can't wait to share that. If anyone wants to keep up with the other two performances that we've performed, they're both on the School of Beatbox website. So if you go to schoolofbeatbox.com and you hit the outreach section, you can see the kind of story there of what's gone on. And there's a couple of videos, one from the UK Beatbox Champs and then one from the London Acapella Festival, and you can go and check out the performances that we've done. And of course the next one will be the big one, the final. Excellent stuff. Any questions about the project, or about, I guess this opens up questions about singing, music, and stammering? Any kind of questions on that kind of front? Yes, Neil.
Hi, Danny. I think there'll be other other sort of recording opportunities or other sort of shows you'll be doing in. I mean, obviously not withstanding obviously COVID. I'm just saying in the future.
100%. Well, that's there's nothing planned, no dates as of now, but the plan is definitely to do more. I mean, I honestly think that the song could be a real it could be a real powerful voice, in the form of a creative piece, an art piece that speaks many more words than the song itself can. It's like the reach just becomes so much more. So yeah, the plan is to really put that out, and yeah, I want to get more performances going. Also want to grow the numbers in the band, in this group as well. So that's another mission, is to have more people involved. So those opportunities will present themselves. Of course, like you say, Neil, is right now it's very difficult to think about when and that, but the vision is to have more people involved, and we could be a literal vocal orchestra. Imagine like the size of an orchestra, but people you know, holding all these different parts. It'd be fantastic. So stay tuned, guys. You know, on the School of Beatbox website, you can sign up to a mailing list there, and any, you know, info, opportunities or anything like that, well, obviously that's the way to stay in touch. We'll keep you updated with anything like that. Anything else, guys? Thanks so much, Neil.
Yeah, I've got a question.
Yes, Ruben.
Yeah, how can we support you guys, like, from a distance then? Is there anything that we can do that can help?
Support from a distance. So, I mean, so School of Beatbox is a social enterprise. So it's basically, I teach the art of beatbox, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. Steve, you nailed it. Your drum and bass beat, you absolutely smashed it. That was awesome. So yeah, I mean, the way School of Beatbox works is, you know, we have our mission. So the current mission, social mission, is working with raising awareness about stammering. But then also, you know, there will be other focuses in the future as well. Like, you know, I want to kind of keep it open and support different things with School of Beatbox. So basically, I mean, you can just go to School of Beatbox and check out what's kind of there. There's online courses. There's you know, it's basically all about learning the art of this vocal percussion, otherwise known as beatboxing. And you know, it's by grabbing a course or something like that, you're also supporting these causes and things. And so yeah, I'm going to actually let you know now that on the courses front, to anyone that's here part of this session, there's a special coupon code. Voila, you can just use 70 off. Okay, and you can grab a course and you can get 70% off any course if you fancy. There'll basically be like a little coupon discount code section. You just write 70 off in there in capitals, and that's it. Any other questions? And I think actually at this point, does anyone else have a question? And if not, what I'll do is I'll hand over to School of that's me, to Stop Holding Back. Stop Holding Back. Who would like to mention what? You have a little something to mention now? I'll pass it back to you, Ruben.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, so just to mention, on the website we do have information about the charity. So you can find that on the website simply by typing in Stop Holding Back into Google. And on the site there's information about the stuff that we do, stuff that we've done before. And we have recently launched a video program that we've been working on for about 12 months now, plus actually. I think a bit longer now, close to 2 years in total. And it's a compilation of stuff that we've done and a few teachings in there. And there's availability for 2 weeks of free access to the video program. So you can check it out. And then if you are interested in continuing, what we do is there's an ongoing membership of £20 a month. And with that, we do a monthly webinar. We have a closed Facebook group with all the members. So we set weekly challenges every week. We report back to each other, and we share things like if someone's got an interview on the Thursday, they pop it in the group, and then they would be doing several things to prepare themselves for the interview. And then we would all be like challenging each other to do the same thing. So when they are actually going into the interview, they kind of feel like they're going in as a group, if that makes sense. And so it's a really supported environment. And it's kind of specifically for people who who are willing to actually turn the screw and actually attack things. So it's a positive place, and yes, if you do check it out, you get 2 weeks of access, and if you like it, then you can join. If you don't, then we welcome any feedback, because we are looking to improve as well and move forward. But do you have any questions, please contact us. You can tell we love talking, especially me. So yeah, thank you very much again, Danny, for the opportunity.
Thanks so much, Ruben. The stuff that everyone has brought to this has been amazing. There's been some messages in the chat as well that people have really benefited from a lot of the resources, tools, and things that we talked about, especially about the mindset and things, which has been awesome. Thank you. Corinne, can I just ask, did you mention about the free consultations that City Lit? Did you mention that earlier?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Fantastic.
Yes,
I just wanted to make sure that was covered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people can get in touch. Yeah.
Great
I'll put the
stuff.
email. I'll put the email in the chat actually, so people.
Excellent. Yeah. Whack it there. Amazing stuff. It's been such an awesome day today. I can't have imagined it to go any kind of better. The vibe has just been really, really good. It's been super positive. There we go, gallery view. There we go. It's just been amazing. It's been incredibly positive. Everyone's been in it, and smiley faces. We've been beatboxing. The heads have been rocking. Can't have imagined it to go any better. So thank you everyone for taking the time and attending, being a part of this. Thank you to Stop Holding Back for all of this amazing resources, stories, the positivity. And thank you to City Lit, not only for being involved, but also for supporting the event and making it possible to happen. So thank you so much, sponsoring the event. And also, Claire, thank you so much for sharing your the words about the project. Chris as well, and everyone else for being here. Rock on. What I'll do is I'll make sure a mail goes out to everybody with key points and anything. I'll check through the chat, and like you said, there's that email address there, Corinne. I'll make sure that goes out to everyone, so everyone's got all of that. If anyone has any questions, there's anything that you want to reach out about, obviously just reply to the email that comes to you. You'll have that, and you can just reply to that, or head over to any of the organizations. But you can get to schoolofbeatbox.com and contact section, message through there. If there's anything about this session that you want covered, or you want clarification on anything, we are here. Bless. Awesome stuff. And right now, I guess we'll say bye. So thank you so much for an amazing day. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Peace and love. Woo woo.
Thanks, Danny.
Guys, it was a lot of fun. Good to see you all.
Thanks, Danny.
Thanks, Danny.
Nice
Thanks,
one.
Danny.
Peace.
Bye.
Nice to see you. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye for now.